Okay, students, so now we are going to start a mock interview for our student Abhinav Chauhan. This mock is for ONGC. So Abhinav, first of all, you introduce yourself.
Yes, sir. Good morning, sir. My name is Abhinav Singh Chauhan. I belong to Shimla, Himachal Pradesh. I did my schooling from St. Edward School, Shimla. After that, I did my B.Tech in Mechanical Engineering from NITIE Hamirpur. Then I started preparing for GATE examination. And recently I got 158 rank in GATE and got shortlisted for ONGC interview. My hobbies are playing football, table tennis, traveling, and watching movies.
Okay. So Abhinav, you in which year you completed your B.Tech?
Sir, in 2019.
2019. Okay. And
yes, sir.
What about any placements there?
Sir, I did got placed in a private company in Ashok Leland. But at that time, I wanted to join a PSU. So I started preparing for GATE instead of joining the private job.
Okay, so you prepared through some coaching institute or yourself, self-study?
Sir, I did take some help from coaching institutes and I gave mock examinations, but mostly I did self-study.
Did you qualify any other examination also?
No, sir. I prepared solely for GATE only.
Okay. So now you are from Simla.
Yes, sir.
And you said your hobby is playing football.
Yes, sir.
So are football grounds available in Simla?
Sir, actually, this is a big problem because there are very less football grounds in Shimla. And even if I have to play, I have to go like 1 or 2 hours away.
Then how this hobby developed?
Sir, there was a good ground in my school and I used to play in my school and I was also the captain of my school team. And we used to go on tours to play other schools in Himachal. And also in college, I was also the captain of my college team and we had a good ground in our college also.
Okay. And what about your family?
Sir, my father has retired as an associate professor in zoology from government college. And my mother is still working as a sister tutor. She teaches,
So both of your parents are in teaching profession.
Yes, sir.
So you know the comfortable life of teaching profession.
Yes, sir.
So why did not you try to become a teacher or professor in some college?
Sir, I think I was good in analytic skills and I had an inclination towards engineering, how things worked and how engineers used, scientific principles to create technology. So I decided to go for engineering. And right now also I am interested in my core discipline only.
Okay. Do you know the work culture of ONGC? You need to stay for 14 days, cut off by your family, friends, everyone.
Yes, sir.
So when you will come back? So when you will free for 14 days?
Yes, sir.
So do you know this policy?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So what will you do during those 14 days at your home?
Sir, actually, after retirement, my father has taken interest in farming in a village land. So I intend to help him there. And other than that, as I told you, I like traveling. So I would like to travel different places inside India and maybe later on outside also.
ONGC is growing organization or decaying organization?
Sir, it is definitely a growing organization. It had a few hiccups in the past few years, but overall it is a growing organization.
Do you know the recent profits of ONGC?
Yes, sir. Sir, in the past year, that is 21-22, ONGC made a net profit of around 40,000 crores.
Okay. Do you know fuel price in India are too much high?
Yes, sir.
So should these public sectors reduce their profits so that they sell their products at the lower price?
Sir, actually, regarding fuel prices, the price of as such petroleum is not high, but the government has imposed a lot of tax. Because of that, they are much higher. So it is more in government's hand than in these companies' hands.
So should government bring this petroleum products in GST?
Sir, I'm not sure about it, sir. I'm not much aware of government policies as such.
Okay, ONGC under which ministry? It comes under which ministry?
The Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas.
And who is the cabinet minister?
Sir, Shri Hardeep Singh Puri.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So right now, from which foreign countries India is importing crude oil? Do you have some idea?
Sir, I know about Saudi Arabia and rest I'm not sure, sir.
Okay, next G20 summit is going to happen in which country?
Sir, India is hosting the G20 this year, 2023.
Okay. Now tell me, what strengths do you find in yourself which may be helpful for ONGC?
Sir, I think that I am calm and composed in stressful situations. I don't tend to get much stressed in such situations. Other than that, I think I am hardworking and persistent. And once I set my eyes on a goal, I can, patiently work for it till I achieve it.
And any negative you want to mention?
So negative might be, so weakness might be like I tend to overthink a lot sometimes. And
Nowadays, the people, most of the students are overthinking. Is this a disease?
Sir, it might be maybe because of the situation nowadays and how the technology is overtaking us as a whole. So maybe because of too much input, overthinking is
What
more common.
What do you do to reduce this overthinking?
Sir, I try to journal every few days to get my thoughts together, and I also meditate once in a while.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Vishal sir?
Yes, hello, Abhinav.
Good morning, sir.
Abhinav, why you want to join ONGC?
Sir, apart from the obvious reasons that it is one of the largest PSUs and one of the largest oil producing companies in India and one of the most prestigious organizations. On a personal level, ONGC has always been my dream company because of the various other benefits that it provides to its employees. And
what's your highest qualification?
B.Tech.
In which year you have completed your B.Tech?
So 2019.
2019. Okay, so from
Yes,
last 3 years you are preparing for various competitive examinations.
Yes, sir. But particularly GAIL because I wanted to get into a
GAIL.
PSU.
Good. So you appeared separately for any other PSUs also?
No, sir.
Through GAIL, there is student get very good opportunity to go for M.Tech or PhD or similar kind of things. So why you're not interested in research?
No, sir. I'm not interested in research, and I wanted to work in a PSU from the very beginning.
So can you give us some specific reason, like research, because you have completed your B.Tech from some technical domain, and in industry also we need to have that much that much creativity is required to do the things, although the domain is not directly related to R&D. So can you convince us actually why you are not want to move into that area of R&D or some M.Tech or PhD?
Sir, because I think that research requires a certain kind of mindset, and it is like a very long shot that mostly guys after doing M.Tech do PhD and then postdoc and all these things. So it is a very long shot. For that particular reason, I'm not interested in research right now.
So what opportunities for you actually you are observing in PSUs?
Sir, in PSUs, firstly, I get to work in my core domain related to my engineering background, and I can use my all that knowledge I have gained in my previous experience and put that into actual use. And also, sir, I can, the public sectors are very transparent in their promotion policies as such. So I can rise among the ranks in a transparent process. And once I get to in a, a director level position one day. Yes,
sir. For measuring the gas pressure in a particular cylinder or pipe, we use some kind of gauges.
Yes, sir.
So can you tell us any one type of gauge and its working? Can you explain?
Sir, for gases or for liquids?
Gases.
So for gases, we can use like an inverted manometer. YouTube
manometer is, manometer, yes, we use, but I'm asking about the gauges.
Sir, there are some mechanical gauges like a Borden gauge, Borden tube gauge, and sir, dial gauge.
Achha,
Yes,
you
sir.
know the working of that Borden tube pressure gauge?
Sir, I'm not sure about it. Yes, sir.
What is absolute pressure, Abhinav? What is absolute pressure?
Sir, absolute pressure is the actual pressure acting at a point as compared to gauge pressure, which excludes the atmospheric pressure. Absolute pressure is like atmospheric pressure plus the gauge pressure.
Just suppose there is a football and we want to find out the stresses acting on the material of that football due to some internal pressure. So
Yes,
which
sir.
pressure we will take for finding out the stresses? Internal pressure or external pressure, and why? Sorry, absolute pressure or the gauge pressure?
Sir, I will take the gauge pressure.
Why? Why not absolute?
Sir, because sir, absolute pressure as such has no use when measuring the pressure of a football, because the atmosphere is always going to be around whether
No, actually we are interested in finding out the stresses induced. Hoop stresses, the kind of circumferential and what is longitudinal stresses.
Yes, sir.
In sphere,
Yes,
some
sir.
spherical vessel, thin vessel. So, we use some formula PD by 2T, something like that, for thin
Yes, sir.
pressure vessels.
Yes, sir.
So which pressure you will use in that finding out the circumferential or hoop stress?
So then, sir, I will still use gauge pressure.
Why not absolute?
Sir, because absolute pressure, sir, because atmospheric pressure is acting on the inside and outside, both sides. So it will balance out anyway.
And if there is vacuum outside, then?
Then absolute pressure.
And if that football is there in water, then suppose you put some kind of string over that, okay,
Yes,
and it is rigid, it is restricted actually to lie at a kind of 50-meter depth.
yes, sir. So then also I will take absolute pressure because the pressure will be much higher.
Then how you will find out the stresses? How you will find out the stresses? There is a football.
Yes, sir.
Lying at a depth of 50 meter from the surface.
Yes, sir.
And it is actually rigidly connected with some kind of string. Okay, so
yes, sir.
It is not allowed to float. Actually, it will float, but it is restricted.
Yes, sir.
So then, how you will find out the stresses?
Sir, I'll calculate the absolute pressure inside the football, and then calculate hoop stress. Yes, sir. My PD by 40.
But you are not going to consider the external pressure.
No, sir. I will consider the external pressure also, sir.
How?
Sir, I'll connect a pressure gauge to the valve of the football, and sir,
no, external pressure easily you can measure by rho GH, hydrostatic.
Yes,
for that, there is no need to attach the gauge, na, Abhinav?
Yes, sir.
Rho G is external pressure. So 1000 into 50 into G, take it as 10, you will get the external pressure. Nahin?
Yes, sir. But
so there is a football. External pressure is known, internal pressure is known. Then how you will find out the stresses?
Sir, I'll use the Hooke stress formula delta P dt d upon 40.
So which pressure you will take?
So the difference of these pressures.
Difference of these two pressures.
Yes, sir.
Outside the gauge pressure you will take and inside absolute pressure you will take, or both sides you will take the gauge pressure. Because rho GH is the gauge pressure outside, not absolute.
Sir, both sides I'll take absolute pressure only.
Both side absolute.
Yes, sir.
Or both side gauge, that will give us the same value, no? Both side absolute, both side gauge. I think that will give us same value. It will give us same value because P atmosphere could be cancelled out, no? From both the sides.
Yes, sir. I think so.
Fine. So Abhinav, what are your favorite subjects?
Sir, thermodynamics, fluid mechanics.
Okay. What is modulus of elasticity?
Sir, modulus of elasticity is defined as the ratio of linear stress upon linear strain. Yes, sir.
So this is more for rubber, cast iron, or steel?
Sir, it is highest for steel, and then cast iron, and then rubber.
So means steel is more elastic
Yes,
than
sir.
rubber.
Yes, sir.
How?
Sir, because when we put load on steel, it easily stretches and also easily comes back. But when we put stress on rubber, the strains are very much higher in rubber, and also numerically elasticity, modulus of elasticity is inversely proportional to strains. So more strains means less modulus of elasticity, and how much elastic a substance is we measure by modulus of elasticity only.
Abhinav, you heard about free expansion somewhere in thermodynamics?
Free expansion.
Yes.
Sir.
What is this?
So when substance is allowed to expand or contract without any external forces acting on it.
So suppose you are mixing two gases.
Yes, sir.
You know, mixing is a kind of irreversible process, no?
Yes, sir.
So why mixing is irreversible?
Sir, because sir, mixing involves the entropy change in mixing is very high because randomness increases very much.
Entropy is going to increase. I forget about entropy this time because suppose we are not, you know, having those kind of things to measure the entropy change. But although yes, in general practice, we can say entropy is going to increase. But other than entropy, how you can convince me? Sir, entropy. This is how we can say process is irreversible. Actually, you know, in irreversible process, we lose some potential work. So in mixing, what kind of work we are losing?
Sir, work is a directional form of energy, and that we need to direct energy in a certain direction. And in mixing, what is happening is that we are when the two gases are mixing, the random motion is increasing, and we cannot predict in which directions the molecules are hitting, or in which direction we can gain that directional energy that we want to. That is, I said, we say that randomness is increasing when mixing of gases is taking place, and irreversibilities are directly associated with this. Yes, sir.
So you prepared the fuel part, fuel chapter, Abhinav? You comfortable in some basics related to properties of fuel?
Sir, fluid or fuel?
Fuel.
No, sir, I'm not much read about fuel because I think it is more related to, I think, chemical engineering than mechanical.
Then like how you're suitable for ONGC sector, because they are going to deal with the various kind of fuels only. So suppose they are assigning you some work, you know, to test the quality of the gas which they are producing, or the fuel which they are producing at some specific plant. How you will check?
Sir, actually, sir, I have applied for mechanical engineering department, and which is mostly associated with maintenance work of various types of machines.
So those things are not there in mechanical curriculum.
Pardon, sir?
You have not studied these things in the curriculum you are having in mechanical engineering. Fuels.
Sir, not in depth, sir, but basics of these things.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
What about IC engine, Abhinav? You're comfortable in
yes,
that IC engine?
Yes, sir.
What is turbocharging?
Sir, your voice is cutting, sir. Pardon.
What is turbocharging, Abhinav?
So turbocharging is, sir, we take the exhaust gases of the engine and use it to heat the inlet gases.
Repeat once again.
So we use the exhaust of the engine to heat the inlet air which we are taking in the engine.
That is turbocharging. Are you sure?
Yes, sir.
That is preheating, na? Utilizing the waste gas. You can name it as a kind of regeneration process, but actually that also we don't do in IC engine.
Yes, sir.
Regeneration that only is useful if you are using alcohols or some kind of less volatile fuels. That is regeneration actually, not turbocharging. What is turbocharging?
Sir, I don't know, sir.
Supercharging, turbocharging, you have not undergone these kind of things.
Sir, I know supercharging.
What is supercharging?
So in supercharging, we use a rotary compressor at the inlet of the engine so that we can increase the airflow rate, and it enables us to, burn fuel more efficiently and reduce the specific fuel consumption.
How the specific fuel consumption is going to decrease when you are, forcing more air into the IC engine?
Sir, because it helps in efficient burning of fuel.
Good.
That fuel, yes, sir.
Go ahead.
The fuel that we are burning, if there is less unburnt fuel and more of the fuel is burnt, so we'll actually require less fuel for the same amount of work output we are getting.
What is mean effective pressure, Abhinav?
Sir, mean effective pressure is the mean pressure that we are working in a IC engine. Like we calculated by taking the work output upon swept volume.
For lubricants, some kind of coding we carry out, something like that, SAE 40, SAE 80. What do you feel? What's the difference between SAE 40 and SAE 80?
Sorry, sir, I have not read about it.
What's the meaning of that SAE?
Sir, I knew it, but I forgot right now.
Fine.
Yes, sir.
What is the typical range of the octane number for the petrol fuel available in Indian market?
Sir, it is around 90 to 100.
So 100 octane fuel is available?
Yes, sir. Recently, I read somewhere in the news that some of the companies are rolling out 100 octane fuel also. Yes, sir.
Fine. So, what is Pascal law, Abhinav? Can you tell us something about Pascal law?
Yes, sir. Sir, in a static fluid, the pressure applied will be uniformly dissipated in all directions because there are no shear stresses present in a static fluid.
So this we can only apply for steady fluid. Can we apply Pascal law for moving fluid also?
Sir, I don't think so because shear stresses get involved and the distribution of pressure will be different. It won't be uniformly distributed in all directions, and there will be pressure gradients present.
Abhinav, what do you understand by flow separation?
Sir, flow separation, when a solid is moving in a fluid or a fluid is moving over a stationary solid. Sir, after a certain point of time where the velocity gradient becomes zero and there is adverse pressure gradient present, the flow actually gets separated from the surface of the solid, and that region turns into a region we called wake, and there are eddy velocities present in that region.
So Abhinav, what's your long-term goal?
Sir, my long-term goal is to rise among the ranks in ONGC in the hierarchy level.
What if you will later stage you will get some opportunity in IOCL or NTPC or in any other PSU?
Sir, actually, sir, because of the age criterion, I'm not eligible in most of the other PSUs like IOCL, etc. And as such, my goal was ONGC from the beginning only. So, sir, my goal was ONGC from the beginning only, and I won't be eligible.
Why your goal is ONGC only?
Sir, because sir, I have talked to a lot of seniors that I know in ONGC, some from my own college also. And sir, they are very happy and content with the life they are getting there and all the remuneration and benefits also.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Abhinav. I think now we can provide you the feedback.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Abhinav, I think the question which I asked you, you answered majority of the question.
Yes,
कुछ चीजें जो मैं आपको करेक्ट कर देता हूँ, जैसे एक तो आपने जब आपको मैंने पूछा ना कि फ्यूल का यू स्टडीड और नॉट, इट इज गुड टू से सर दिस टाइम आई हैव नॉट रिवाइज दैट. वेरी सिंपल, स्पेसिफिक यूनिट की उसको जितना उलझाओगे ना, देन यू विल बी इन डिफिकल्ट सिचुएशन टू आंसर.
Okay.
बिकॉज आप ये नहीं बोल सकते कि सर आई फील दैट इज रिलेटेड टू केमिकल इंजीनियरिंग, और इफ इंटरव्यू इज आस्किंग यू समथिंग यू नो टू आंसर. इफ यू डोंट नो you can say sir I have not studied about that sir, surely I will look into that.
Okay.
उसको एंड करना है डिस्कशन को. आर यू गेटिंग अभिनव?
हाँ जी सर.
Okay. Even if you don't know something about a particular topic. Second, turbocharging क्या होता है? Turbocharging, supercharging, in both cases the purpose is to supply dense air, not increasing the mass flow rate. Our purpose is to supply the dense air into the IC engine so that more mass will enter. Density is mass per unit volume.
Yes, sir.
In supercharging, that process we carry out by taking power from the engine crankshaft. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Directly we attach some compressor which is taking power from the engine crankshaft. But in turbocharging, we attach a compressor and turbine system. So in turbine, we carry out the expansion of the exhaust gases. Okay. And by producing some additional power, that additional power produced by the turbine is used to run that compressor. Are you getting? That is the only difference between turbocharging and supercharging. Are you getting?
जो सर टर्बाइन है वो हम एग्जॉस्ट से रन कर रहे हैं ना?
Yes, yes. तो एडिशनल एक्सपेंशन करवाएंगे हम. आपका हीट ट्रांसफर थोड़ी ना करवाएंगे. व्हाट यू मेंशन, आपने कहा कि सर एग्जॉस्ट गैसेस से जो इनकमिंग फ्यूल है या इनकमिंग एयर है उसको प्रीहीट कर देंगे. दैट इज रीजनरेशन एक्चुअली.
नहीं सर, मेरे को थोड़ा एग्जॉस्ट का याद था, तो फिर सर उससे थोड़ा कनेक्ट कर.
एग्जॉस्ट को एक्सपेंशन करके हम क्या करेंगे?
टर्बाइन रन करेंगे और
टर्बाइन में उसको एक्सपेंड करेंगे. वी विल गेट द एडिशनल पावर एंड यूटिलाइजिंग दैट पावर वी विल रन द कंप्रेसर.
ठीक है सर.
ठीक है. तो टर्बोचार्जिंग, सुपरचार्जिंग both actually generally we use in diesel engine, because diesel engine mein they are in benefit of the engine because they are going to actually reduce the knocking tendency. But in case of petrol engine, if you are carrying out turbocharging, the temperature, inlet pressure is going to increase and knocking tendency is going to increase. That's why we don't carry out petrol engine in turbocharging or supercharging in petrol engine normally.
Okay,
high altitude पे turbocharging is mandatory. High altitude पे because बाहर का प्रेशर ही बहुत लो है, तो आपको turbocharging करनी पड़ती है.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. तो पावर आउटपुट आपका बढ़ जाएगा. ऑब्वियसली कंप्लीट कंबशन ऑफ द फ्यूल विल टेक्स प्लेस. सो सर व्हाट यू नीड टू से, व्हेन आई आस्क्ड यू कि स्पेसिफिक फ्यूल कंजम्पशन कैसे घट जाएगा? स्पेसिफिक फ्यूल कंजम्पशन घटना चाहिए ना?
यस सर.
तो स्पेसिफिक फ्यूल कंजम्पशन इज नथिंग बट द मास ऑफ फ्यूल कंज्यूम्ड पर किलोवाट ऑफ द पावर प्रोड्यूस्ड. सर विद द सेम अमाउंट ऑफ मास, इफ वी आर एबल टू प्रोड्यूस मोर पावर, so power output is increasing sir, so specific fuel consumption will decrease. तो उसको थोड़ा सा enthusiasm के साथ बताना है अभिनव. देखो मैं चाह क्या रहा हूँ, you are having potential, आपके टेक्निकल अच्छे हैं, you are looking comfortable, सब कुछ सही है, बट ऐसा बहुत सारे बच्चे करने वाले हैं. थोड़ा सा आपको डिफरेंट लगना चाहिए, थोड़ा सा स्मार्ट लगना चाहिए, है ना?
यस सर.
अब जैसे मैंने आपसे पूछा कि why ONGC, व्हाई ओएनजीसी, वही सिंपल आंसर दिया आपने। देखो ऐसा होना चाहिए कि उनको इंटरव्यू को लगे कि यार वो अटेंशन ले आप में, उनको लगे कि हाँ यार ये बच्चा कुछ अलग आया, डिफरेंट आया, तो वहां पे जो स्केल है ना वो एकदम से अलग हो जाएगा। यू विल बी डिफरेंट एक्चुअली फ्रॉम द अदर स्टूडेंट्स, है ना। तो
Sir,
वो
what
थोड़ा
else
सा
can I add in that?
जो स्पार्क आना चाहिए बीच बीच में, कहीं कहीं पे स्पार्क आना चाहिए,
मतलब सर उसमें कुछ ऐड कर सकता हूँ पॉइंट्स?
ठीक है। अब उसमें क्या बोल सकते हो आप ओएनजीसी में कि सर आई फील बिकॉज ऑल द पीएसयूज दे ऑफर सिमिलर काइंड ऑफ बेनिफिट्स।
Yes, sir.
So for me, my family, it is very important to get a job, sir. So I'm very much putting my efforts to get into some of the PSU, sir.
Yes, sir.
And after entering into some of the PSU, sir, my dream will be to get some knowledge, good knowledge in that particular domain, and to reach to some level so that I will be in a position to give something to the society and the organization. तो देखो मैंने ऐसा नहीं कि मैंने पढ़ा हुआ है, जो कोई कुछ है क्या जो दिमाग में आए, थोड़ा सा लगे यार कि आप रियलिस्टिक हो। आर यू गेटिंग अभिनव?
सर पर जैसे आपने पूछा था कि बाकी पीएसयूज क्यों नहीं और ओएनजीसी क्यों, तो
आप
सर
बोलोगे
इसमें
कि
क्या?
उसमें क्या बोल सकते हो सर, दिस इज अपॉर्चुनिटी आई गॉट दिस टाइम, ये अपॉर्चुनिटी मेरे पास है ना।
यस सर।
For other PSU, sir, I'm not having opportunity, and sir, that may be the case. I may not be eligible for that.
यस सर।
So, sir, this opportunity is in my hand, and I'm putting my efforts, sir, to convert
आप एक तो
that opportunity to the final selection.
जो मतलब कि एलिजिबिलिटी है उसके हिसाब से पीएसयू में जो जितने पीएसयू में मैं एलिजिबल हूँ उनमें ओएनजीसी अच्छा है।
ठीक है सर।
ठीक है
हाँ जी
भाई, आपकी कितनी एज है अभी?
सर 26 हो गई थी पिछले साल, अभी 27 जनवरी में हो जाएगी।
हाँ
तो IOCL और इस सब में एलिजिबल नहीं था मैं।
हाँ तो इसमें
तो
30
उसमें
तक
नाम मत लो आप, आपने यहाँ इनएक्टिव कर दिया, आपने बोला कि मैं एलिजिबल नहीं होऊंगा सर, आपका पहला पॉइंट ये था। ये पहला पॉइंट नहीं होना चाहिए।
ठीक है सर।
आप देखो सिंपल, उनको ये भी मत बोलो कि ओएनजीसी ही मेरा शुरू से ड्रीम था। ड्रीम होता है जॉब लेना पीएसयू में, असली में तो सभी को पता है ना। ऐसा तो है नहीं कि ओएनजीसी नहीं मिलेगा तो किसी और कंपनी में आदमी जाएगा ही नहीं।
हाँ जी हाँ जी।
क्या कहना चाह रहे हैं कि मैं पीएसयू में जाना चाहता हूँ, हो सकता है वो IOCL हो सकता है ओएनजीसी हो, ठीक है ना। पीएसयू मेरा मेन एम है। बट अगर ओएनजीसी में राइट नाउ चांस मिल जाता है तो मुझे जरूरत ही नहीं है कहीं और ट्राई करने की। फिर कहीं और से मुझे कोई ऑफर है नहीं एट दिस टाइम। तो अगर इस या तो ये तो अच्छा ही है, फिर इसके अलावा कोई इससे बेटर तो कोई नहीं है ना।
ठीक है सर। सीनियर्स वाला पॉइंट तो बोल सकता हूँ ना सर कि मैंने काफी सीनियर्स से
बता देना कि जितने भी सीनियरों से मैंने सजेशन भी लिया, सभी लोगों ने इसका ग्रोथ का चार्ट भी देखा ओएनजीसी का थोड़ा सा, तो वो भी अच्छा है। मतलब प्रॉफिट मेकिंग ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, आगे बढ़ रही है, इसका विजन भी अच्छा है। और दूसरा कि सारी कंपनियों मतलब बड़ी बड़ी कंपनियों के साथ जैसे HPCL के साथ भी काम कर रही है, तो दोनों सेक्टर में मतलब अच्छा वो है इसका परफॉर्मेंस।
ठीक है सर।
ठीक है,
बाकी इंट्रोडक्शन वगैरह ठीक था सर HR में?
हाँ इंट्रोडक्शन ठीक था, थोड़ा और अपना कॉन्फिडेंस लेवल हाई रख के बोलना है।
ठीक है सर।
आवाज मतलब बिल्कुल ऐसी दमदार सी लगनी चाहिए ना वहां पे।
ठीक है सर।
हाँ, घबराया हुआ सा नहीं होना चाहिए, तो ठंडे थोड़ी सी इस वजह से। बट आराम से बोलो, कर सकते हो तुम। सुटे मतलब सिंप्लिसिटी है, अच्छा लगता है उनको कई बार इस तरह की चीजें। बट थोड़ा बंदा ऐसा भी चाहिए ना उनको, एनर्जेटिक हो, कॉन्फिडेंट हो, कहीं भी मतलब हाँ उस हिसाब से बोलना है।
ठीक है सर।
ठीक है
आपने मेरे ख्याल से टेक्निकल तो ठीक रहा आपका, है ना। आज आपने ठीक आंसर किए। तो बहुत बेसिक ही क्वेश्चन पूछते हैं वो डिफरेंट सब्जेक्ट से।
हाँ जी सर। एक सर मैंने ये पूछना था कि बाकी मतलब मैकेनिकल के सारे सब्जेक्ट्स रिवाइज करने की जरूरत है या ये थर्मल और स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ मटेरियल यही सब मेन है?
वो थर्मल, स्ट्रेंथ ऑफ मटेरियल, आइस इंजन, फ्लूइड मैकेनिक्स, हीट ट्रांसफर, ये तो मेजर सब्जेक्ट है ही है किसी भी ऑयल एंड गैस कंपनी के लिए, है ना। ये 5 सब्जेक्ट जो मैंने बताया। अब इससे अलग आपको
और इंडस्ट्रियल
हाँ पढ़ सकते हो। अब जैसे पाइप मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का है, थोड़ा बहुत पाइप मैन्युफैक्चरिंग का आपको पता होना चाहिए, ठीक है। वेल्डिंग का पता होना चाहिए, LPG सिलेंडर का वेल्डिंग है या पाइप्स का वेल्डिंग है, तो ये चीजें पूछ सकते हैं आपसे। इवन आप अगर ये सब्जेक्ट नहीं भी मेंशन कर रहे हो ना, बिकॉज दीज आर द थिंग्स व्हिच आर देयर इन ऑयल एंड गैस सेक्टर ना। तो पाइपिंग तो पूछेंगे आपसे, पाइपिंग का वेल्डिंग भी पूछेंगे, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग भी पूछ सकते हैं, LPG सिलेंडर का पूछ सकते हैं। तो वेल्डिंग का थोड़ा बहुत बेसिक आपको पता होना चाहिए और थोड़ा सा मैन्युफैक्चरिंग प्रोसेस और दूसरे पता होना चाहिए, मटेरियल्स। ठीक है, ओके।